you enjoying yourselves? That sounds kind of cool, we'll get to that later. The video you just saw was a bit of a promotion for JPOPCon in April. JPOPCon is the event that's organized this particular cosplay craftsmanship competition here at Comic-Con today. So if you like what you see here, I would really suggest you get a ticket to JPOPCon, because JPOPCon is kind of cool. It's an event for Japanese pop culture, Japanese culture. There is food, there is cosplay, there is all these amazing little things to see and taste and hear and see, and also see. So, do go, please. This has been a paid promotion.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Sponsored by, yes. The thing you are watching now is me. I'm Elina. I was actually flown in from Finland because apparently they needed a host to be Finnish. I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. But because I am from Finland, I will let you know that if any of the Danish names and words I am going to be saying today sound like they're spoken by a drunk Norwegian, that's why. So I apologize beforehand. So today we're here for the cosplay craftsmanship competition here at Comic-Con, and I will be standing here on stage saying lovely things about our lovely cosplayers. And the way things run here, now I need my notes because I was also a forgetful thing. The way things run here, each cosplayer is going to come up on stage one at a time, and I will read a bit of a segment on how they've made their costumes, because it's a craftsmanship competition, so it's important that you guys know what's going on as well. So it's not just a pretty costume, you will also know about the hours and hours and hours of work and blood and sweat and tears and more tears that have gone into making that costume. And in case some of you guys don't know what cosplay is about, which I'm sure you're kind of getting a hang of already, but in case you're completely in the dark, I will explain it to you in brief. Cosplay is an excuse for us adults to keep playing dress up, basically. Cosplay is kind of it's dressing up as characters from anything really. They may be from movies, comic books, anime, manga, anything really. They can be characters you designed yourself. You can make your costumes, you can buy your costumes. And some people really are into the craftsmanship aspect, like these people who are competing here today. Some people really want and love making their own costumes. And some people just love dressing up as characters. And both of these are cosplay. And the best part about cosplay is that it's whatever you make it. So if you dress up in a plastic bag and someone in some film somewhere wore a plastic bag, you're cosplaying! Congratulations! Our cosplayers have met with our esteemed panel of judges earlier today, and I would like to invite the judges on stage to introduce them properly. We have Chikara, Min Kitty, and a name I can actually pronounce, Team Valima. Yes, these beautiful people have looked at the costumes very up close. They've flipped the seams and they've looked at how everything is made. And they have seen these costumes closer than anyone has ever seen them. I can assure you. Yeah, that's about the depth and dedication they take. Thank you. Get lost. The judges will be awarding Best Craft, which is essentially like Best Overall Craftsmanship. Best Prop, which is not exactly like an attached part of a costume, but like a gun or weapon or something like that, so that's cool. They're also awarding Best Lookalike, someone who looks just like that character, and they're giving a judge's award to someone who's just super cool. And the awards we have are also super cool. We have Rolls of Wardla from, and I am going to butcher this place's name, Faros Shikara? I'm trying, you guys, I'm trying. They've given some Rolls of Wardla, And there are gift cards and all this cool stuff for things that cosplayers really need to use to make their new costumes. So yeah, I'm kind of jealous of our winners already. And before we start the show, I kind of want to hear you guys make a lot of noise. So on 3, just cheer and yell and sound awesome and epic. So 1, 2, 3. Not bad. Keep up this cheer throughout the show. Do applaud, do cheer. Don't say stupid things though, because that's just dumb. So behave yourselves and be cheerful. Let's call the contestants on stage. First up, we have Anne-Sophie as Princess Morgoth from Powerpuff Girls. Anne has taken a few artistic liberties because their cartoon is so extreme in its design. The costume has been made from scratch and Anne has constructed it to fit her own size. The yellow fabric has been colored by herself since she couldn't find the right color in the stores. The wig is made by sewing 2 wigs together and the crown is made out of warbler with a gem cast in resin in the middle. Next we have Zero Fox Cosplay as Sheik from Hyrule Warriors. Miss Jen has wanted to make this character for quite a while since it's one of her favorite characters from the game series, but she hasn't made it before because she's feared she couldn't do the character justice. Despite it being such a small part of the costume, her favorite part is the pendulum at the end of the wig, since it gives a nice feel to the overall costume. The breastplate is also a favorite part since it really helps cover the female shapes. It's made out of leather and thin foam. Cecily as Supergirl from DC Comics Supergirl. Joshua Alexandrovich is the tailor of the costume that Cecily is wearing. They chose to make Supergirl since they both love DC Comics. Supergirl has a nice personality and aura that they thought fit well with Comic-Con and Cecily. The suit is mainly made of sports textiles. The emblem is ironed and sewn on, and it has, together with the boots, been the hardest part of the costume to make. Next, are you from Dark Souls? Yes, then my notes are in the wrong order, Leah. Yes. Maruna as Channel of the Emerald Herald from Dark Souls. The dress is made from linen and different colors of fake leather with a hand-embroidered pattern on top. The cloak is made from real wool fabric and linen with special attention to details, such as the golden trim and eyelets. The accessories are made from other various materials such as real and fake leather, modeling clay, and warbler. And now we have Mythical Teacup as Gwendolyn from Odin's Sphere. This costume has taken many hours for Julie to put together, the biggest challenge probably being the boots and making the wings look just right. It was also her first time working with LEDs, and she's pretty happy with how it turned out. The dress is made of satin, cotton, curtain fabric, fake leather, golden fabric, and ribbon. The boots are fake leather and warbler, and she made the stuff out of a PVC pipe, and the wings are wooden plates with a mix of real and fake feathers. Pikachu! The costume is made of foam mattresses, fleece, and hard work. The mattresses were cut in halves and glued with a hot glue gun until it had the right shape. It was then covered with polyester filling from chair pillows in order to make the costume more comfortable to hug. The costume was used at Comic-Con in London, where it was received with open arms by everyone, and that was exactly the experience that gave the courage to participate in this competition. Stine as Rapunzel from Tangled. This costume is mainly made of satin. The fabric of the corsage and the center part of the skirt is hand-painted. Around 45 hours were spent on the embroidery alone, which also was her first time doing embroidery. The part Stine loves the most is the embroidery and the wig especially, since both were made using new techniques that she had never worked with before, and she's very satisfied with both.
Next we have Josefine as Radagast the Brown.
All the details of the waistcoat and jacket are embroidered by hand, and it has taken almost a year to make. All the fabrics have been weathered and torn with a grater and colored with coffee and black paint. The waistcoat was also rolled in some dirt to make it look old and worn down. Josefine's favorite part of the costume is definitely the waistcoat and the hat. The sides of the hat were made to look a bit like bunny ears, and there's also hidden bunnies in the embroidery.
Next we have Vanellope as Kylo Ren, The Force Awakens.
She began working on the costume right after the movie had been released in the cinemas, even though there were very few reference images available. There's 4 layers of clothing in total, and the most of it is normal cotton. The outer layer is a bit different though, and it's made of monk's cloth, which is very similar to the fabric used in the movies. Everything is made by the cosplayer herself, except for the leggings, the gloves, and the boots. Here we have Marugeito Cosplay as Lina from Dota 2. For this costume, Pani used real leather, which she dyed and sewed by hand. She made all the patterns for the leather herself. The dress and hood is fully lined, and she did the patterns herself as well. The golden details of the clothes were very time-consuming, as she did not want any stitches visible. The bottles are cast in resin with a mold she made herself, and they can light up. The wig is made from 2 wigs sewn together, cut and dyed. And here we have Christian as Buzz Lightyear. This cosplay is the cosplay that Christian has wanted to make the most. It was a lot of fun, even though it was a bit stressful as well, because of a short deadline of 3 weeks. It is made out of foam, and every part is... We did, however, get a bit of help from a friend with the paint job, since there is a lot of parts to paint. The flap on one arm can open and shows the Star Command Telecom sticker. And on the other arm is a laser that can be turned on by pressing a button. The cosplay is not very heavy, and strangely enough, it's fairly comfortable to wear. And here we have Smithgard Cosplay as Lich King from Heroes of the Storm. He started from scratch with a 3D model from the game to make sure that the costume is as close in scale to the design as possible. Only the arms and the sword aren't. Everything is made in foam mats, and he made the scale veil by sewing sleeping mats together and painting them in silver sewing sleeping mats together and covering them with silver matte fabric. The entire costume has taken around 3 to 4 months to complete. And his favorite part is probably the helmet and the shoulders, because they were the hardest things to make.
No, there's just comment on.
Oh, too bad. Next we have D. Jones Cosplay as Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. The costume has been created from the basic idea of royal clothing from the 1014, so it's 1300s, something. There's undergarment and a corset. The main circle skirt contains 4 meters of fabric, and it's her favorite part. The wig is 2 wigs sewn together to give better volume, and the crown and necklace are made out of warbler, and details are made with a soldering iron. The rose is also made out of warbler.
That's Wonder Woman from DC Bombshells.
From scratch based on Mona's own measurements. The shirt is made with a reverse collar, which demanded quite a few sleepless nights in order to get right. The embroidery is made with a 0.5mm foam covered with the shirt fabric in order to give it some depth. The shorts are inspired by the 50s high-waisted sailor pants. They close with a hook tape, which is hidden by the flap with snaps under the stars. The wig is created by putting 2 wigs together and has been styled with the 50s icon Betty in mind. Cosplay as Headhunter Nidalee from League of Legends. The armor is made out of warbler and cosplay flex, as she was curious of the difference between the two materials. She painted the costume to look worn and rough, with several layers of acrylic paint, and then she sanded it down a bit with sandpaper. She took a lot of liberties with the design of the chest piece to make it look more interesting. She added some strategic straps to make it more plausible, and added pants that merge with the straps on the legs. She can move around very freely despite the costume being mostly armor. The electric parts... I need to turn a page. I need more hands. The electric parts are all soldered and programmed by herself. All threads in the wig are crocheted out of fibers in 4 different colors, and it took approximately 90 hours to complete the full wig. Spectral Archers is Ronin, aka Clint Barton from Marvel Comics. This is her first cosplay and also the first competition she has ever entered. That's something. The costume is mostly made from warbler. The sheens, knee pads, braces, shoulder pads and chest pieces made in warbler and craft foam, which is then primed for paint with wood glue and then painted with silver acrylic for base coat, followed by a golden acrylic coat for the edges and details and a black acrylic coat for the armor base itself. She made the gi herself as well, and it's made from a polyester fabric. Cal Creations, War Machine MK3 from Captain America Civil War. Rasmus chose to cosplay as War Machine because he really likes both the armor and the character. The main parts of the costume are made in EVA foam, but a fair amount of warbler and electronics have also been used. The helmet is among the things that he is most proud of, since it's the part of the costume that required most work and really steady hand. He made everything himself, except for the suit under the armor and the boots. Charlotte as female barbarian from Diablo 3. The female barbarian is Charlotte's favorite character to play in the game, but since she never gets the right items in-game, she decided to make them herself. That's the kind of attitude we appreciate. The armor is made in EVA foam and warbler, and it's hand-painted and lacquered. Details like the craniums are made in warbler and doll clay. The skirt and other fur parts are made from an old jacket. The armor is attached with D-rings, velcro and snaps. Everything is made by the cosplayer herself, except for the gloves, which she has found in a second-hand store. Next up, Milla Mushroom as Lynn from Blade and Soul. Chose this costume because she was amazed the moment she heard of the game and found out about this character. She really loves characters with fluffy tails and big ears, but also clothes which have more Asian style to them. Plus, the character is very small, which she likes because she feels it fits her very well. Beside fabric, she used EVA foam for the mask and other details on the costume, and also to keep the ears up. This costume took her almost a month to finish.
as Miranova from Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.
Miranova has been using on her cosplay to-do list for more than 5 years. So it seems unreal that to have the costume finally finished. The series was one of the reasons that Liu got interested in sci-fi in the first place. The costume is made out of different stretch fabrics. The chest plate is made out of foam and covered with stretch vinyl and kept in place with magnets. Magnets, how do they work? She has styled the wig herself and she has also made the light stripes in it. She bought the ears, but she painted them blue, a shade.
And lastly, we have Sandra as Barriss Offee from
Star Wars, The Clone Wars. Sandra had the most challenged by making the wrist armor since she had never tried to work with craft foam that way. She has chosen to use black and grey pattern for the cape to get the result that was closest to the reference picture. To the upper part of the clothes she used a striped patterned shirt. The belt is composed of a plain brown belt and the belt jewelry item is made in female clay and glued on with a glue gun.
These are all our cosplayers, and I'd like all of them to get back on stage, along with the judges.
Aren't they beautiful? And I will now hand the mic over to the judges so they can tell us who won and what.
Okay, so are you ready to hand out some prizes? We will start with the judge's favorite, and I will find it on my paper. So for the judge's favorite, we have had a really rough time actually picking out all of the prizes. I know they say this every time, but we only had 4 prizes, and look at them all. Okay. Actually, this was a costume where I personally have wanted to do it myself as well. And I was very impressed with both the wig work and armor that was really, really smooth, actually felt almost like actual plastic, like bought plastic. That was very nice. And it had lights, it had programmed lights, and it is Headhunter Nidalee from League of Legends! And as it is already said, Malin wins entrance to JPopCon next year and a 1,000 gift card certificate to Stoffa Steel and Frau Cigar, as well as sponsored warbler from Frau Cigar. So give her a hand.
So next is Best Likeness. And this person came in and was so fun to stand. It was just so charming. And the cosplay itself was just amazingly amazing. And, well, it's a perfect cosplay. And it really, you could feel the character. So, the next prize goes to Josephine Hansen as Greta Castle. Well, the next one, we have Best Prop. And this cosplay came in also very impressive with the cosplay and everything. But there was this specific thing. There was wings, and it worked. It really worked. And you can press buttons and it works. So, next cosplayer, the best prop, Buzz Lightyear from Star Wars.
So the last prize that we have to give out today is for Best Craft. And this particular cosplayer covered a lot of areas, had a lot of different things to show us, lights and props and woodwork and armor, no, not armor, but Warpla work. And I personally really admired the finish on the sewing because that is my thing. And I would like to congratulate Fanny as Lena from Dota 2. What the others got is black Warbler. This is new fire red Warbler. Ta-da! Very fitting. So give them all a hand. They're all amazing.
Cosplayers, and thank you, dear audience. If you've enjoyed what you've seen today, do come see the China Cosplay Super Show Scandinavian selections tomorrow, where we have cosplay and performances, so don't miss that. Have an excellent night. See you tomorrow.